Scholastic Audio presents We Must Not Forget, Holocaust Stories of Survival and Resistance by Deborah Hopkinson. Read by Rosie Jones. After a long, slow journey, the train arrived at Comte de Gurs in France on October the 25th, 1940. Max was put into a barracks for men. Conditions were horrible, with more than 10,000 people crowded together. There were 25 barracks to a block, 60 people in one barrack, one small electric bulb at each end of the barrack, in the middle a stove, and a small table. The stove did not help. We had no wood, Max recalled. They were given straw to sleep on. There were no chairs. The latrines were simply holes in a raised cement platform. People were demoralized, said Max. People were in shock. They'd gone from the comforts of their own private homes to crowded, filthy barracks infested by lice, bedbugs, rats, and mice. Medical problems began in earnest. There was a dysentery epidemic. There was typhus and other diseases. We started to lose people daily as a consequence. Max's mother was able to work as a camp clerk, and Max sometimes got a pass or ticket to visit her in her office. One day when he was there, Max met a 16-year-old girl named Hanne Hersch, who was helping as a messenger. He offered to walk with Hanne to get rations from the Swiss Red Cross barracks. And that's how it began. In an interview years later, Hanne described her attraction to the skinny teen. There was no privacy for dating, but we saw each other every day, she recalled. Max was allowed unlimited tickets to visit other people because of the fact he was a musician. The conditions were horrible, but we had a cultural life, and I was attracted by Max's interpretation of music. The French allowed some social service organizations to operate in the camp. One group, to Max's delight, sent in musical instruments. Max joined a string quartet, which definitely impressed Hanne. Before long, the two had fallen in love. Max and Hanne soon faced their first separation. In August of 1941, OSE, the organization that had saved Alfred and Ernest Moritz, approached Hanne's mother to say there were people in the French village of Chambon-sur-Lignon willing to help children and young people. If Hanne's mother gave her permission, OSE could arrange with Vichy government authorities to take charge of Hanne, which would enable her to leave Gurs camp. Hanne recalled that her mother didn't urge her to stay or even admit how desperately she would miss her daughter. Hanne said, "She loved me enough to let me go." After Hanne left, Max was assigned a job running the office of the camp hospital. This enabled him to live in the hospital barrack, which provided better food as well as rooms with real beds. In June of 1942, Max was also approached by the OSE. His mother agreed to let him go, and he left the camp on July the 25th for a Jewish Boy Scout camp near Lyon. A few days later, on August the 1st, Gurs was put on lockdown. No one was allowed to leave. Max said, "On August the 6th, the first train with 1,000 people left Gurs for Drancy, a transit camp near Paris, and from there to Auschwitz." There was an unexpected Jewish witness at the station that terrible day. A 17-year-old who risked her own safety to visit her mother. It was Hanne Hersch. Hanne had been safe in Le Chambon, hundreds of miles away. But when a cousin wrote to say that her mother was ill, Hanne decided to risk the dangerous trip back to Gurs. The lockdown meant Hanne could only see her mother from outside the barbed wire. They had to call out to each other across the barbed wire. 2 days later, I saw her in the freight yard, where she was on a train waiting to be transported. She didn't know where she was going, but she knew she was not coming back. It was the last time I saw her. Hanne's mother was murdered at Auschwitz. A few months later, Max's mother met the same fate.